Hey, Mike with Mike's Bags, and today I'm reviewing the Hustle by Cornographix. This is a little bit of a different review because I have two sets of bags here. Both are the Hustle bags, but they have different fills in them. The materials are the same, everything's the same, except the fill's different. We have the regular Hustle, which has the regular fill, and then we have the Hustle 3 here, which has the CX3 blended fill. And as I'm throwing bags in here, I'm going to put down the bottom. If it just says Hustle, that's the regular bag. If it says Hustle 3, that's with the new CX3 blend. I'll talk more about the different fills, what the differences are in the fills here in a moment as I break down the bags. It was really fun to do this little experiment and see how much impact the fill has on the playability of the bags. A lot of people tell me all the time, if it's the same materials, it's the same bag. There's not that big of a difference. But in reality, fill makes a huge difference in how the bags play. And towards the end here, I actually threw all 8 bags for a few clips, and it was alternated between one to the other, and it was really amazing to me how the difference the bags felt and the difference in the way they play. And I'll break down the differences I said, as well as when you should use one over the other, or maybe which one's better for your style of game, and just my thoughts overall on these bags. So let's go ahead and jump in. We'll break down these bags here. Start with the slow side. This is a hybrid material. It's the same slow side. It's what I call that clone material. It's not quite the same as what Ultra uses on the Viper R slow side, but it's similar to some degree. It's the same slow side you find on the B3 Coyote, the Sub-Zero Wintertide, Swag Bags Kaboom, the Buffalo Sauce, the Costello X from Black Sheep Baggers. It's a wonderful material. It's very versatile. It plays a touch slower than our material, so I call it more like a 5-speed. It's played quicker when new, but once it breaks and it slows down, it plays about a 5-speed, a little more controllable in there. Still great for all conditions. These hybrid materials are wonderful because they play consistent across all board conditions. So if you're playing in an area where humidity is an issue or conditions are changing throughout the tournament event, these hybrid bags are wonderful because they stay consistent. You don't have to go changing bags all the time. Fast side on this is that material that it's similar to that Pro Sniper Viper fast side, not quite the same. I actually like this material better. Same fast side you find on the Big Mac bags, whatever I recently reviewed. Cornhole Coastal uses on the Creature, B3 uses on the Fatal, the Coyote, the Ranger. It's a 9-speed. Fast. It's great for collecting and pushing and cleaning up messes. So you're looking at about a 5 and 9 speed on these bags. Template wise, these are medium template bag. The fillness, and the fillness is a little different because of the type of fill. So the regular Hustle has a flat fill. It's all flat disc fill, really soft fill. It gives the bag a little less volume. It's a little flatter bag, maybe touch thinner, a little more flop. By no means is this a floppy bag. I mean, this material will stretch. This slow side material does stretch over time. So as these bags break in, they'll get a little more flop to them, but these are not by any means going to be super floppy from what I can tell. This flat fill gives the bag a wonderful hand feel. So if you like that soft hand feel, you like a little bit of a thinner bag, I think you might like this regular Hustle with the flat disc fill. The flat disc fill also gives the bag more forgiveness on the landing. So if you don't throw a flat bag, it's not really going to kick and punish you as hard as this blended fill. And this blended fill is more beads. It's a blend. Obviously, there's a blend of some flat fill and some beads. I think the 3 means that three different types of fills in here, but it's mostly a bead fill. It's got a lot more volume to it, so it's a little thicker bag. The bag has more movement to it. It's going to bounce, which makes it better for shot shaping cuts, rolls, flops. To me, this bag, this CX3 blended fill bag is more hole friendly. Again, I'm nitpicking here. Both bags are very hole friendly because these materials are extremely hole friendly, but every now and then I felt like this regular bag would hang up just a touch on the hole. Very collectible, but still hang there, where I felt like there were times where this bag would just drip in because those beads just seemed to be more hole friendly. Now, the hand feel, because of the beads, it's maybe less stable, right? Some people don't like a bead fill because when they grab it seems like the beads are never really settled. Whereas a flat fill, you can grab it and kind of compress them, lock them down, to stay in place. They don't move in your hand. I don't mind the feel. I actually like the way this bag feels. I pick it up. I don't know, there's something about it's a little more of a puffier bag, which I tend to like a floppier bag, but I really enjoy this because it reminds me more of a traditional carpet, right? It reminds me of the slower carpets where I want a puffier bag because I want a fuller bag to throw my cut shots. So I find a fuller bag cuts better than a thinner, floppier bag, and that's where I think this excels. So mixed fill, more beads in the CX3 blended Hustle, disc fill, flat disc fill in the regular Hustle. That's the difference in the two bags. Again, medium template, medium amount of fill, and I don't know if I showed you, like the blended fill doesn't have a ton of flop to it. There is some flop there, but nowhere near as floppy. I don't know if I can really get this side by side. You can see a little more flop there than what you're going to get here. Hopefully you can see the difference there. The flat disc as opposed to the blended fill here. So a little bit more flop on the flat disc fill, a little thinner bag. And it really gives the two bags a completely different hand feel. That's probably one of the biggest things. The first thing you're going to notice when you pick the bags up, how different the bags feel in the hand. So if hand feel is important to you, then that may determine on which one you're going to there. Both bags are ACO stamps. You play in ACO events, you can throw these Hustle bags or the Hustle 3 in your ACO events. Let's go ahead and jump in and talk about playability on this. And it's a different play style. Both these bags play completely different. So we'll start with the regular Hustle with the flat disc fill. This bag, as I said, very forgiving. If you don't throw a flat bag, it doesn't have a lot of kick to you. It's not going to punish you as much as a bouncier fill would. It's going to land flatter, softer, run straight up the board. I found this is a great bag. If you just want to run bags in the hole, this is probably the one you want to go to. Here, I had a lot of success just throwing bags, running the hole. Even for throwing blockers, I really felt like this version of the Hustle a little easier to throw a blocker because I felt like I had a little more control, right? Even if I didn't throw the bag perfectly flat, I could still get it to kind of land. It was more forgiving, land and stop where I went to. I found a great job of putting blockers up there. And the collection of the blockers, I had no problem. Either bag, both bags collect very well. They don't accordion up, so you can get aggressive, put those blockers where you want, come down, clip it, take them in. Fast side's plenty fast for pushing through multiple bags. But I did find that this flat disc version of the bag had I had more success collecting blockers, and that's because this bag, a little more bounce to it. So when you throw it, and hopefully you can see it or watch when the bags land. When I'm throwing the Hustle 3, you're going to see this bag hit. It doesn't really hit and just slide up. It hits and kind of bounces and hops a little bit before it flattens out and goes up there. And so sometimes when you're trying to collect a bag, you've got a blocker up there you're trying to collect. If you hit, sometimes this bag unintentionally wants to kind of skip or hop over or bounce over, ends up sitting on top of it or skips over completely and leaves the bag there, which is great when you're trying to get around your opponent's bag, but you're trying to collect your bag. It can be a little tougher. And so I found with this version of the bag, the bouncier bag, I had to land really more right behind the bag, not give the bag time to bounce or hop, land it right behind it. Unless the bag dropped the hole, then I could land a little further down the board and land it, let it bounce, hop, settle in, and then push up there. So I just had to play a little bit different on my collects with it. The other thing about the blocks too is because this bag has that bounce and hop, when I was trying to place a block in a precise location, sometimes I didn't get the bag flat enough, it would hit and it would kick, and then it would be too further over than I wanted it, maybe out of play where I couldn't go get it. So I felt like this bag wasn't maybe the best for throwing those blocks. I felt like this bag here with the CX3 blend in it was great for that shot shape. And if you throw cuts, rolls, flops, this bag is phenomenal. Even if you're not good at it, if you're trying to learn to throw it, this bag automatically wants to get up and hop. It wants to cut. It wants to roll. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to get a lot of tilt or a lot of front load or back load to get this bag moving. It doesn't take much at all. And that's where I think this bag shines over the regular Hustle is the shot shape. And so if you're the type of player where you're wanting to play more of a shot shaping style game, and really if you're playing against an opponent who throws a dirty style game, they're putting blockers in your way, that's when I would pull this Hustle 3 out, because I know I can cut and I can roll and I can flop and I can get around their bags, leave their bags there. They're putting blockers up there. I can get around all I need to do. Whereas if I'm throwing this bag, you can cut this regular Hustle and you can roll it, you can flop it. It just doesn't go to the extremes that the blended fill version does. This one's a little bit more forgiving in the landing. So when you put that angle to cut, it doesn't really want to make that harsh bite and turn. It kind of wants to flatten out and make a subtle turn. So you can get subtle cuts around, just not get as aggressive. So that's probably the big difference in the two is the style of game you're going to play and your type of throw, right? If you to throw this Hustle 3, honestly, you need to throw a flatter bag with a higher spin rate. If you don't throw a flat bag, it's going to kick on you when it lands. Now, if you know that, you can adjust your landing spot and move your spot over whichever way your bag's kicking on you, and you can kick it, and you can definitely play it that way. It's not going to hurt you. Honestly, if you're thinking about getting one, I would almost recommend getting both versions of this bag because of how different they play. It's like two completely different bags, but they have a similar feel as far as the materials feel in the hand. So when I pick up this bag and throw it, there is some familiarity when I pick up this blended version of it and throw it, but it's still different enough in the way it plays that you can justify getting both versions, especially if you're wanting to learn to cut or roll or flop. Maybe you're not there, you want to learn it. Awesome bag for learning on there, right? Get this bag to learn on. But in the meantime, you can throw this version of the bag when you're actually playing in tournaments or events that matter to you until you can master that shot shape and style game. And then you can switch over to this Hustle 3 or go back and forth. Like I can see, to me, depending on the day and how well I'm throwing, some days I get up there and I'm throwing better than others. Some days I struggle with a flat bag. And if I love this Hustle, but I struggle with a flat bag, I'm going with the regular Hustle. And then if I come in the day, you know what? I'm feeling it. I can get my bag flat. I can tilt it and angle it and get what I want. I'm going to this Hustle 3 because now I can have fun with this bag. I can really get around bags, I can shape shots, I can play a creative style game, and that's what I want to do. In the end, I would say that the biggest determining factor is your bag flat. If you don't throw a flat bag, I think you're going to want to go with these Hustle. But if you throw a flat bag and you want to get into that shot shaping style game, get these Hustle 3s. I think you're going to love both of them. It's a wonderful bag. I love the way they play. You know, you can do both. Either way, you can play a dirty style game with these regular Hustles. You can play a hole for hole game with this Hustle 3. You can definitely do both, any style of game with them. They're great for that. Like I said, that hybrid style game where you're, for me, I think that's where they shine, is when I'm running bags in the hole and then an occasional blocker here or there. You can definitely do it. So I had a blast on these Hustles. I had a lot of fun throwing them. I really enjoy it, and I love how different they are, even though there's a lot of similarities between the bags. So if you want to know what impact fill has on a set of bags, get a set of each one of these and go out there, and I think you'll be amazed at how much of a difference fill makes in the way bags play and the way bags feel. So check them out. And so that leads me to availability. Cornographix has a website. It's cornographix.com. Put a link down in the description as always for you guys to check to click on. The bags were $69.99, $70 for a set of them. It was like $10.60 shipped to you, so just under $81 shipped. Phenomenal price for ACO stamp bags. So check them out, cornographix.com. If you've thrown the bags, I'd love to hear your feedback. If you've had the opportunity to throw both styles of bags, the different fills, I'd also love to hear your thoughts on them and which ones you like better. So drop a comment down below, let me know. I thank you guys so much for your support, and I thank you for watching.